Hello, and welcome to another episode of Find Her Seat. And we are a show that is committed to helping women find their seat at the table through health, fitness, business, and beauty. And so I'm your host, Jennifer Etter, and
I am your host, Susan Mobley, and we are so excited that we are live here from the beautiful Lexington Boutique off of Post Oak with the also gorgeous Lauren Leal with the Houston Sports Show. We're so excited that you could join us here today.
Thank y'all for having me. I'm so happy to be chatting with y'all. I completely agree and support everything that you're doing. So thank you for having me on the show.
We were excited because we actually met Lauren here at Lexington at their grand opening, and we started chatting with her, and we realized that we were definitely in alignment with what she's wanting to do behind sports and kind of what we're wanting to do with women and Find Her Seat.
And she's so adorable. Like, we had to have her on the show. You know, she makes us look good.
Y'all are so sweet. Thank y'all.
So first off, I really want to find out more of your background. I want to know, where did you come from? What led you to where you are right now?
So I started out actually in acting a long time ago. I started back when I was a teenager, and I went out to LA, had an agent there, came back to Houston, had an agent here, excuse me. And then I went to high school and started doing the newscast every morning with Volt Vision. I got to give a shout out to that Volt Vision Clear Springs High School. So
where it all started.
It all started and began. And so, after then I went into college and I studied broadcast and I started hosting. So I was like, you know what? No one's hosting at these football games. Like, I don't see anybody on the mic, like, conducting any games or live interaction. I'm going to reach out to them and see, if there's any opportunity there.
Right.
And so I did. And they're like, yeah, we'd love to talk to you. Come in. So I went into their office, and that was kind of my first hosting gig that introduced me to the sports world. And I've always been a sports person.
Right.
I've always enjoyed sports. I grew up with it. That being said, I still do like entertainment and other fun things around town. But that's kind of where it started in college. And then from college, it just kind of expanded from there. So I interned at KPRC during college. I interned at ESPN 97.5. After I graduated, I worked at the radio station, ESPN. From there, I got a call from the Houston Rockets. And then I was like,
a good call to get.
It was a great call to get. Like, I'm sitting there.
Especially if you can't play the game. That's, the second best, right?
Right.
You get to report on it.
Too short to play the game. But you have the height.
I do have the height, but I have no skills.
How tall are you?
5'10".
And you never played?
I have no skills. The height was wasted on me for athletic ability.
Oh,
No, Susan did modeling.
I did do modeling. Yeah, so I took my height for that.
You used her beauty for that.
Yeah.
And what about you? Did you ever play basketball or anything?
Well, no, not on a team.
No.
I was definitely more in theater.
Okay.
So I did theater and
so
dance
fun.
and singing. Yeah, so fun. So that was more the route I took. I loved basketball and I loved playing it, but I was never chosen to be on the team.
So what happened when the Rockets called you? They were wanting to have you.
They were like, we want to talk to you further, because I expressed interest to them and one of their marketing positions. And so they called me back and were like, oh, you've done this, this, and this. We have you in mind for something else. And it was this hosting opportunity.
How fun.
So Monday through Friday, I actually got the full-time job there. Monday through Friday, I was a game presentation coordinator. And then during the games, I hosted the games. So being a host, you go out on the court. I say, all right, we got Jennifer with us. We're going to see how many shots she can make in 30 seconds.
Right.
If she gets, this many shots, she's getting a flight to wherever your vacation, all those fun games that you play on the court. During the week, I scheduled out all of the timeouts. So say all of our sponsors, and like I worked with our sales team. So like say like Mattress Mac is a sponsor, say Papa John's is a sponsor. Okay, well you have X amount of times that you have to be on the court. And so we're gonna figure out, like, first lay them out through the season. And then when we get to that game, we're gonna decide where you're gonna go in the game. And then of course, with anything in entertainment, because sport is it's business,
Right.
but it's entertainment
at the end of the day.
It's entertainment at the end of the day. So whenever, say, it's like live, which means it's really like it's hot, timeout, you can switch things around. And so, the game is really close. They just called a timeout instead of doing this slower promotion. We're going to switch it to this, and it's going to be a dance camp. Okay. So yeah, that's what the coordinating was. And then I did all their social media stuff.
Now I have to ask, because I think of sports and I think of the Rockets as like a men's thing. Right. But you're this beautiful woman that's out there doing it. Was that kind of rare to see, a young woman out there doing this? Or were there other people? Were you kind of paving the course for this?
Well, I would like to say I paved the course. But, I mean, kind of in a way, yes, though, because women are more prevalent in sports and are more in society in general. Right. But it's still, I mean, we're still on the low totem pole. Right. And so I kind of do feel like that in a way. I'm stepping onto the court. It was a little intimidating being a girl. Right. But that's when you just own it and you're saying, hey, I'm here. This is my talent and I'm going to do it.
I want you to take me back to the very first time that you got on the court. I want to know, did it feel really natural, or were you just scared, or what was it? What were you going through that first?
So at the Rockets, or when I hosted, say, football.
Oh my goodness. Well, that's a whole different
Yeah, I know.
What's your best story? Is it going to be football or the Rockets? Because I'm all ears.
Oh man. I mean, I hosted at the Dynamo too. Right. I mean, it's kind of nerve-wracking because you have all these fans and they're there for the game. Right. They're there for the game. So whenever you're stepping out onto that court, or you're stepping onto the field, or you just have the mic in your hand and you're talking to all of these people, you're like, okay, what I need to say has to be fun and attention grabbing. Right. And it also needs to be entertaining. And it needs to be, and you're on a time frame. You're like quick, short, sweet. Right. So the first time doing that is, the first time doing that, it can be kind of, it was nerve-wracking.
Sure, I bet it was.
It was nerve-wracking.
Not to mention, football players, basketball players, they're all pretty big people. And you're how tall?
I know. Here we go again.
Anything.
I'm 5'3" and a half.
Oh my goodness.
I give myself the half.
Counts.
Yeah.
Totally counts.
Totally count. Yeah.
No, but to answer your question, Jennifer, it's nerve-wracking because you have all these things going through your head. Sure. But that's when you just and then sometimes you just go blank. Right. You know everything that you're going to say. You have bullet points. You have, sentences written out. You know what you're going to say, but that's you can just literally.
That's why I love that there's two of us. Yeah. In a moment, one of us can go blank and the other one jumps in and fills in, but it was just you. That's really amazing. I have another thing I wanted to think of or ask you too was, if you knew of some young girls that you were to go to and you were going to say, okay, these are the tips I can give you, because you really jumped into something. She saw an opportunity. She saw there was a need. You jumped in, grabbed the bull by the horns, and really did an amazing job of trailblazing. I'll call it trailblazing.
Yeah, I like it. Thank you.
If you were to talk to some young girls, you're going to go talk to them, what would you tell them to inspire them or help them feel confident enough to go out and do something like you did?
So first off, thank you for all of that. First off, I would say you gotta own your craft. Know what you're saying. Know what you have a vision of how everything's gonna lay out. Even if it goes completely wrong, you gotta go with the flow. But most importantly, you gotta be confident and have the courage for whatever you do in life. I mean, it could be going in for a sales position and you're going on an interview. It could be someone like you're talking to on the court. But I guess I would say the best advice is courage. And everybody makes mistakes. And this is what I was told in TV when I started. One of my former bosses told me that in anything that's live entertainment, if something goes wrong, it's hard to say it's just live entertainment, but it's just live entertainment. You're not doing open heart surgery. If you mess up, you can do it again. There's another day. There's something else. So have the courage, have the confidence, and be true to yourself. Don't let it swallow you either.
Yeah, we know with live that we got to roll with the punches, just like y'all may have seen. As we said, we're live from Lexington, and they're still open. So we've had a few patrons walk in and kind of do a weird stare, like, what's going on here? But you just got to keep going with it and rolling through it. And I think that's what, to me, I think people get scared about the unknown. And instead of being scared by that, just do it, you know?
Yes.
I think it's way more scary to not do it than to do it.
It's always the what if factor in the back of your head. Well, if I didn't try this, like, then you get to the older age and then you can't do it anymore.
Exactly.
Yes, I for sure can relate to that because I've started living my life that way. You know, something about getting into your middle age. I know you're not middle aged, but something about getting into it. It's like, I never want to end or get to the end of this and say, I never did do this, or I always wanted to do that. And so for sure, just to jump in and check off those boxes and do whatever you can.
And one of those boxes that I would think would be so fun is, weren't you a Texans cheerleader?
I was.
I was too in my own mind, but
Me too.
Hey, I mean, we're all cheerleaders of our own. No, but
we like to be
that
women's cheerleaders now on Find Her Seat. We're the cheerleaders for women
I
making
love that.
changes. But it's not as fun as the Texans.
Oh, this is a blast. What are you talking about?
So how did that come about?
Yeah, so how did that start? So I worked for the Texans the year before I cheered for them. I worked in the press boxes. It was my first job out of high school.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, I mean,
straight like working at Sonic or something.
I worked in the press boxes as a media host, so like I would run back and forth with all the statistics of the game, help out with whatever the media needed, getting sound bites, you know, just whatever they needed help with up there. And there were about a rotation or 4 or 5 of us girls, and this was just working on game days. So the other girls would talk about like, oh, tryouts is coming up. You want to try out? Like, what's your outfit look like? And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, I love to dance, and you said you dance too.
Yeah,
I love to dance.
I love to watch her dance.
Cheerleaders. And so yeah, so the girls, they were talking about it, and they were like, you totally should. Like, if you have a dance background and you got to look, like, go for it. And this was chat, like, with these girls, I'd say in, like, December, like, towards the end of the season. And auditions are always in April for the next football season. And so I'm like, you know what? That would actually be really fun. I love to dance. I love to perform. Like, you know, why not? And so then I started like taking it more serious. I went to some of the classes that they have prep for. And then I got together and I got some materials and I got with like a sewing lady and homemade it, like, you know, awesome. doing it the old fashioned way. And that was fun, and I tried out, and thankfully I was blessed and I got to experience being on the team.
Was that just so fun?
It was.
That's, I think, probably one of the ultimate ways to attend a game right there.
Yes, from the sidelines. And that was before, I don't know if you've been to a Texans game lately, but they have grass that goes all the way to the fencing. They used to not have that. It used to be just like the concrete over there.
Right.
And that was what I danced on. But yeah.
They've upped their game a little bit with the grass extended.
Yeah.
So now, how long have you been with the Houston Sports Show?
So Houston Sports Show started in March. We used to be Texas Sports Nation 2 years ago, still on KPRC Channel 2. And it was the nightly sports talk show, but it was produced through the Houston Chronicle. And now it is produced like all in-house. Everything that we do is us. So we have the freedom and ability to do whatever we want in sports. And that's kind of like that's what's the cool thing about it, because we're more of a lifestyle sports show. We get to, like, y'all are, you know, interviewing me or, and, you know, finding out people's stories. That's what I do on the Houston Sports Show. I get to have these in-depth interviews. I have a really cool one coming up this weekend. And then we have sports panel talks. We have like some comedy. We have a comedian that comes in and talks like sports chat, but makes jokes about it all. So it's fun.
And now you were telling us when we were at the opening here about how you do beyond just the sports, you know, the scores and that type of thing, that you really get to interview them, the players, and ask them more about who they are, right?
Yeah, I get to see who they are as a person. I think that's what's important.
It is.
Because we like them for their sport, but they have another layer to this is that they have so much power because they are in the eye.
Right.
And for example, JJ Watt.
Yeah.
He gets, he uses his power in such good ways with Harvey, with all the different organizations that he raises money for. And so those are the players that I really like to see. I mean, even if you don't have an organization and you're an athlete, I still like you. But I like to find out who people are whenever they have these different interests and they dive into community related organizations or see who they are as a person, where they come from.
Do you have a favorite, give us a couple that were like you were surprised by something that an athlete told you that they did, or an organization that was close to them? We know you don't have any favorites.
Yeah,
right.
We'll just talk about like maybe a recent one that popped in your mind or something that was something that you just were surprised to find out or something.
I'm trying to think. Something that I was surprised about.
Any JJ Watt gossip or?
Well, when I did interview his girlfriend, Kaylee Ohai, she plays for the Dash.
Yeah.
I think she knew the engagement was coming, but I don't know. So
it was the next step.
It was the next step. We all knew it. Now JJ's officially off the market.
I know.
Right.
We saw. I know.
Congratulations to them, though.
We wish y'all the best.
Awesome. We have some friends that are getting on, and they're just saying hello, and so we want to say hi to Ashley Denny.
Hi, Ashley.
I see Kiva Moon on there as well.
So I think Tammy was on there earlier.
Yes.
Hi.
Always like to say hi
is
to
Tammy here?
So yeah, there's Carrie.
Carrie.
Hello,
Hey,
Carrie.
beautiful. We love having everyone coming on and saying hi, and that we can kind of respond back. So we're getting to the point where I'm ready to ask you the big question. And this is the question that our viewers and our listeners love to hear. And so this is a really big one. Tell me your why.
My why to finding my seat.
Your why to finding your seat. Tell me that.
So I'm in this position because I believe this is what I was meant to do. And just like a minute ago when I said that whenever players they have a lot of recognition, they use it in a good way and a powerful way. I think that I can do the same thing being in the public eye. I mean, I'm not no JJ Watt or DeAndre Hopkins or any of those guys that are up there, but I want to empower other women like y'all and lift each other up, because why not? We're all in this world together. Why be jealous of one another?
Right.
Yes.
Whether it's looks, whether it's a career move, whether if they have kids and I want kids, no, you be happy for them.
Right.
That's the part of being confident in yourself and being able to say, hey, I'm happy for you, and still be who you are.
I love that. That's why we said when we met with her, we knew that there was total alignment, because that's, what Jennifer and I were wanting to do with Find Her Seat, and that is lift women up. But so many people are knocking each other down, men and women, that take the time to knock each other down, and instead let's, magnify all the amazing people like yourself who are doing amazing things. I mean, you see your, cute little 5'2.5". Is that 3.5? 5'3.5". Sorry. 5'3.5". Little, sweet self come in, and then you don't realize until you start talking to you're this little powerhouse that comes in and you own it. And I've watched your show, and I see how you get out there and you hold your own against these not just physically large men, but they're powerful, and like you said, their position, and that can be intimidating to a lot of people. So I think the fact that you are showing women that anyone can do this, little girls that are looking up to people, and like you said, the sports world is opening up their arms more to women, but at the same time, it's still a scary prospect to go into really uncharted territory until recently. And so to see someone, local who's making a name for themselves and, I mean, my goodness, to be working with the Texans in any field right out of high school. I mean, that's impressive. And I don't know about you, Jennifer, but we've had so many women on this show who don't even realize their power and the difference that they're making. We've had people that are like, oh, we do this and that. We're like, wait, we do what? Like, we didn't even know about them. Or Jenny, the owner here, what she was doing with philanthropy. And we've had other people that do things to support other women. And it's like, you're like, well, I've worked for the Texans right after high school. It's like, wait, what? Like, most kids don't have the courage to go and do that kind of job, be it an internship or a full-time job, whatever it is. So for you to stand up and be like, no, that's what I want, and I'm going to go after it, that's not a small thing. And to keep pushing through and, taking one step to the next and, keep reaching out to what you're wanting to do. And I think the fact that all the players are opening up to you says a lot, because that's like, that's personal time to them, that they're used to these reporters asking them about the game and the scores and that type of thing. And instead you're coming in there and letting them kind of be behind the game. Because, I mean, they're only athletes. I mean, they're always an athlete, but they're only in the game for really a short amount of time of their lives.
Right. That's very true. Thank you so much for all of that.
It's true, though. I think that so often it's like people downplay what they do, and Jennifer and I will look at each other like, did we both just hear that right?
I know, it's amazing. And I'm not sure if women are downplaying what they're doing because they don't want to come off as bragging or they don't want someone to be jealous. And so I am one for sure. It's not about bragging, but definitely be proud of yourself and for sure tell people what you're up to, because it inspires other girls and women to do the same. And so for sure, I'm very proud of you.
Thank you.
Everything that you've done, for sure.
So
go ahead. Oh, sorry. Nope. I was going to say, I struggled with that a lot just because I've been like so blessed with my opportunities. Like I've like working with all of the big professional sports in Houston and the people that I've met and the organizations that I've worked for. Like I've dealt with one, like I don't want other women to not like me because they think I'm bragging, or two, like to have them jealous of me and then they try to like, come after me in some sort of way. And it's just like going back to why be like that? Like always encourage each other, even if you are in the same industry, like good for you. Now I have the courage and I'm going to go do this.
We always say that there is not a shortage of anything, that there is enough to go around for everyone to have their place and their moment, that we don't need to, try and go after things because there's abundance everywhere if you're looking for it. So there's no reason to feel this angst to go after someone, because there's something for everyone if they're willing to, like you did. You
created your own opportunity. It wasn't even that you were vying for something that someone else wanted. You saw something and went after it and created your own path. You stayed in your own lane, as we like to hear a lot and say a lot. Stay in your own lane. But you created your lane, and so that just tells me that there's an abundance of opportunity that it's just waiting for someone like you to come along and make it.
Now, if we want our viewers, and we do want them to catch up with you and get to watch you, where are all the places that we can find you at?
Well, first and foremost, I'd say watch Houston Sports Show on KPRC Channel 2 Sunday nights at 11:30. It is right after Sports Sunday. So if you aren't up, set the DVR. But follow me on my social handles, because that's where you can find what I'm up to most recently on Instagram. I'm at Lauren _ Leal, Leal. And then on Facebook, my page is Lauren Leal TV. And then same for Twitter, Lauren Leal TV. I'm a lot of places, most active on Instagram and Facebook.
But as it should be.
Yes, so Google Lauren Leal Houston. I'm sure you'll pop up everywhere.
We'll see what happens.
Well, we appreciate everyone joining us today. And just like you can find Lauren everywhere on social media, we want you to make sure to subscribe to our show on both your podcast and YouTube under Find Her Seat. Also on Instagram, we are Find Her Seat, and also on Facebook, Find Her Seat. So we hope that you guys can join us, and we will do our show next week again.
Yes,
I was going to say thank y'all so much for having me.
We appreciate you so much.
I feel like I was on a job interview.
You got hired.
Yes.
You
Yes.
You've been promoted to find
Yes.
her seat. But yes, we so appreciate you joining us, and for everyone watching, and make sure to go out and set those DVRs and watch Lauren and subscribe to Find Her Seat. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thanks, y'all.